I'm trying to beat Honor Mode in Baldur's Gate 3 with a hamster. Check the pinned comment for a link to Act 1. Trying to beat Act 2 with a hamster was difficult, even if we ignore the fact that the Apostle of Merkel is going to be nearly impossible for a hamster to defeat. Act 2 still has a ton of other fights that your average hamster just wouldn't stand a chance against, but my hamster is far from average, and he has an army of support casters at his command. My first stop in Act 2 was to Last Light Inn. All it took was a smile from this sexy hunk for Jaheira to let us in.
Settle in. Then come join me for a drink.
And I purchased a few items that'll help me improve my odds. I grabbed a bow that allows me to cast haste and a cape that can create fog clouds. My first fight will be ambushing Karnas, and I grabbed some soldiers and brought them with me and determined which ones are more likely to survive and cast warding bond on them, and the other ones, maybe they'll make it, we'll see. Gale's spells are pretty difficult to resist, and as a divination wizard, he can sometimes guarantee that an enemy will fail their saving throws. I used slow on the entire enemy force so they'd have a sluggish start to combat, and I initially tried using Boo as an improvised weapon to see if my Tavern Brawler feat would apply extra damage, but turns out even in patch 6, Boo remains completely unimpressed with my attempts to wield him like Thor's hammer, and I don't get any extra damage. So throwing is my best option, but throwing at close range gives me disadvantage on the attack. Still, it's worth risking the chance to miss to deal an extra 4 damage per hit. Plus, Boo can blind enemies after being thrown, making it so my next attack, it just has a regular chance to hit because advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out. My small army did surprisingly well, and we made it through the entire encounter with no casualties. Probably just a testament to Boo's prowess as a commander. Who knew a hamster could inspire such bravery? Forget Sun Tzu, we have Boo. After the fight, I freed Dolly from the Moon Lantern to give my party immunity to the Shadow Curse, and I made my way to Moonrise Towers. At Moonrise Towers, I bought the risky ring to give me advantage on all attacks so that I can at least stop attacking with disadvantage. I also bought a few potions of Angelic Reprieve, which provides my character with the effects of a short rest. Since my Summon Boo spell refreshes on short rest, these could come in handy if I need to refresh my spell in a pinch because Boo died in a battle. Because remember, if Boo is dead, I literally can't do damage. There is no way for me to hurt enemies while Boo is dead. I made my way down to the dungeon because I need to save all of the prisoners. First though, I dropped by the warden's office and we are going to slaughter her. Now, we are way underleveled for a wide-scale battle down here, but if everything goes smoothly, there shouldn't be a fight at all. Famous last words, right? But I have a good strategy in mind, and we're going to enter turn-based mode and use hold person on the warden to paralyze her. As a sorcerer, I can force her to roll her saving throw with disadvantage, giving my spell a higher chance to land. Hold person also gives my attack 100% chance to hit, and they will always be critical strikes. Then I have Shadowheart use haste on Boo so that he has an extra attack, and my first 2 attacks dealt 12 and 16 for a total of 28 damage. Now here's the fun part. Instead of ending turn to get my action points back, I'm just going to turn off turn-based mode and spam attack with Boo, and I can get in 3 more attacks before the warden even has a chance to make a saving throw to try and get out of hold person. They failed that saving throw, so I was able to attack 3 more times and put the game back into turn-based mode using my final 2 attacks to finish the warden off without even needing to fight. This wonderfully cheesy strategy is going to be the key to clearing out Moonrise Towers with a hamster, because nothing says victory like paralyzing your enemies and clubbing them to death with a hamster. But first, I got the prisoners to safety because keeping them alive should help greatly improve my chances of beating Act 3. I decided to try and enhance Boo's natural combat ability by respeccing Minsk as a warlock. My hope was that Boo would be able to get the extra attack feature granted by Pact of the Chain, but unfortunately this wasn't the case. Probably because Boo lacks the opposable thumbs necessary to sign a contract with an Eldritch entity, but I don't know. Using my cheesy hold person tactics, I worked my way through Moonrise Towers, slaughtering everyone with a series of small but extremely painful puncture wounds. And if these guards were aware of what was happening, it'd be like a bizarre nightmare, suddenly frozen in place while a tiny furball nibbles away at your thighs and rib cage. I ran into a little bit of a roadblock with the scrying eyes because they reduce all damage taken by 8, but I did manage to smash my way through by fishing for critical strikes with Minsk's Enraged Throw ability. Enraged Throw is the only throwing ability that I have that adds our strength modifier twice. It adds it once for the throw itself and again for the Tavern Brawler feat. I equipped a dagger that increases my chance to land critical strikes and slowly destroyed all the scrying eyes in the tower as well. I didn't kill everybody in the tower because honestly that'd be a lot of work, and I wanted the Harpers to have something to do when we assault the tower together, but I did take down most of the guards, as well as Kethric's undead dog, Disciples Rel, and even a caster on the roof that would have made our eventual battle with Kethric Thorm a lot more challenging, if only I could use Hold Person on everything in Act 2, but alas, it only works against humanoids and most of the enemies from now on are undead. I decided to kill the Rich Thorm because Boo can help make this fight a lot easier. These boards can be attacked, causing moneybags here to fall into the room below, and they cannot get out. So now all I need to do is take down the skulls, because each one we kill will weaken our main target. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be that easy. I got slaughtered by these skulls, and I figured I might as well take the opportunity to run a test on another build. I want to see if sneak attack works while throwing Boo, so I respect Minsk to a rogue. My experiment had mixed results. Turns out using Boo as a rogue sneaky accomplice isn't foolproof. Sure, sometimes I can land a sneak attack, but sometimes Boo ends up being the one sneak attacked, which is a betrayal that Boo simply won't stand for. Back to Berserker it is. While fighting the skulls, I tested one more thing. Gale used a superiority die gained from a feat, and used the ability Commander's Strike on Boo, but I guess Boo is not a huge fan of getting ordered around by puny wizards, because when it came time for his turn, not only was I unable to use the attack granted by Commander's Strike, but I wasn't able to make any attack whatsoever. Boo simply refused to attack entirely. It bugged out my ability to attack. Fail after fail after fail. I really thought more things were going to synergize with my poor little hamster. I finally finished off all of the skulls and put this miserable creature down to end the combat. My next target is this medical school dropout who I guarantee does not have the proper certifications necessary to legally perform surgery in Faerun. I lured his assistants upstairs and slaughtered them all before throwing their corpses into a chest to prevent the doctor from resurrecting them. Once all of the nurses were taken care of, I took the fight to the so-called doctor, who is a lot less impressive at extracting his victims' major organs without the help of his surgery team. Malice has a lot of health, so it took a very long time, but I did finally take him down, gaining a juicy 280 experience reward for my trouble, and I also gained an amulet that allows me to paralyze a humanoid when landing a critical hit. It's very redundant with Hold Person, but at least it's an extra way that I can paralyze people in Act 3. Maybe it'll come in handy. I didn't really feel like dealing with Balthazar and Char's gauntlet, so I just let him die to Char's Justiciars, and his meat golem flesh managed to finish off just enough enemies to level my party up to 7. I collected an important item, the Callous Glow Ring, which allows me to add 2 points of radiant damage to my hamster throws as long as my target is illuminated. Because nothing says take that evildoers like a radiant hamster projectile, and honestly I'm a little disappointed in myself for not casting light on Boo in this video, but we can maybe try it in Act 3. I failed my saving throw to reveal Mirror Image Minsk's ambush, but thanks to my magic eye from Volo, I popped him out of invisibility and launched my own ambush, winning the fight pretty easily because it was 2-on-1. Ready for another failed experiment? I tried to stack the Elixir of the Colossus and Enlarge onto Boo so that I could hopefully increase his weight high enough to deal bonus damage when throwing from a great height, but they just wouldn't stack, which was frustrating. Note to self, hamsters are just not meant to be thrown like bowling balls no matter how many potions you feed them. Honestly, there's so many things that I had hoped would work and they just don't. Boo just does not synergize very well with this game in general. But while I was pouting about how almost nothing synergizes with Boo, he went on the hunt and started exterminating all the rats in the area. Classic Boo, taking matters into his own paws. Eventually though, Boo got in over his head, finding himself on a full-on rat battlefield. And let me tell you, those rats were no joke. I needed to spam a pretty absurd amount of healing spells to keep Boo standing, and even decided to do something that I had hoped to avoid for this playthrough. I haven't used any Barrelmancy style tactics in this playthrough, and I don't expect to use any, but this fight was just taking so long. I wasn't ever going to lose this fight, but I was at risk of losing my sanity, so I put a single caustic bulb on the ground and had Boo attack it to bust it open, and the acid killed off most of the remaining rats for me when they came over to attack, and probably saved me 10 minutes of pointless suffering. The swarm of rats were actually just a single Dark Justiciar that had turned into a hive mind of rats, so I killed the Justiciar and headed over to Yurgir. Defeating these rats is the key to helping Yurgir out of his contract with Raphael, so I gave him the good news only for Raphael to show up and claim subcontracting the job was not allowed.
In short, you're in breach of contract, my friend.
Whatever, not my problem. I need to make final preparations before heading into Shadowfell. I picked up some barred boots for Karlach, and then I embarked on a magical shopping spree, scouring the land for high-level magic scrolls. Scroll of Hold Monster was of particular interest to me, and I also found some fingers of Cloud Giant Strength that I can use to make into a super powerful strength elixir. Finally, I gave the Noble Stock to the Mushroom Picker before heading to Act 2 and taking the plunge into Shadowfell. I chose to save the Night Song so that Boo will have yet another soldier at his command in the battles to come. The Harpers and I stormed Moonrise Towers only to find the majority of the soldiers were already dead, seemingly killed by a series of small puncture wounds to the stomach. I don't know what that could have been. One of life's great mysteries that'll never be solved. So it's time to fight Ketheric Thorm, but before the battle, I made sure to persuade him to surrender, only for the surrender to be rejected by Dame Aelin.
Ketheric Thorm would sooner die than lay down his rank cause.
But this will be important later. Before the fight was started, I took a series of partial rests to re-roll my portent die, so I have a 20 and a 3. My plan was to use the 3 for hold monster, and then the 20 to get a guaranteed critical hit on a powerful attack. Well, that's a big mistake for me because I forgot Ketheric is undead, probably because of how alive and human he looks, and I just ended up using the 20 on a saving throw for Dame Aelin because I'm pretty sure Larian fixed Shield Bash and I didn't want her to fall prone. But this fight was overall pretty easy, and after winning, it would have been time to enter the Mind Flayer colony, except that I'm not level 8 yet, and I'm really worried about my chances of defeating the Apostle of Myrkul, so I decided to go power level to 8 first. To gain some quick experience, I went and I talked Thizzlebold Thorm to death, except I had the wrong character do the talking by accident, and I ended up needing to use 3 inspiration to get the job done. I also lured the Githyanki away and used Hold Person to kill them one at a time. The leader of the Githyanki has a plus 10 on saving throws, which is just not going to make Hold Person. It's not going to work for me. So it's much easier to do this the old-fashioned way by picking up a hamster and smashing it into their face over and over and over and over and over. My last big fight was the Shambling Mound, but again, this one wasn't too tricky. I ran around killing the extra enemies first, and once they were dead, I fled the scene. Then I came back and used Hold Monster and bashed this tree to death with my hamster club over and over and over and over and over. Just a few experience points shy of level 8, I fought some weird fishy creatures to make it the rest of the way, and at level 8, I had Minsk take Dual Wielder so he can use his Strength Club and the dagger that increases his chance to hit critical strikes at the same time. In the Mind Flayer colony, I decided to save Zevlor, and the fight actually got pretty messy, but in the end, it wasn't too bad, which means it's finally time. It's time for an epic showdown between a single hamster and the Apostle of Myrkul. Now, if you were in my shoes, how would you have approached this fight? Because we're in honor mode, which means I only have one shot at this. I can't mess it up. Myrkul can crank out pretty insane damage numbers, and he can heal for massive amounts later in the fight if the Necromites get up to him. All I knew for sure is there's no way in hell I'm fighting fair. My battle strategy was to send in Shadowheart and Karlach alone, keeping Minsk and Gale outside for now. Inside the door, Shadowheart and Karlach built a massive tower of crates that was honestly way higher than necessary, and on the other side, Minsk and Gale built their own tower of crates. I used a potion of invisibility to position Shadowheart up on the platform next to where Myrkul would be, and I put Karlach next to Dame Aelin. My first objective here is to skip the first phase of combat by convincing Ketheric to kill himself, which went perfectly. The battle is now started, and Shadowheart has the Blood of Lathander mace in her hands, which blinded the Apostle of Myrkul. Now, all of my attacks against Myrkul will be with advantage. Karlach freed the Night Song, so Myrkul will no longer be invulnerable to damage, and then she chugged a potion of speed and ran over to Myrkul and activated her sword's Shriek ability so that all my attacks will deal up to 4 thunder damage. Now, how does this help me? Well, remember back in the video when I said I bought a few potions of Angelic Reprieve so that Minsk could use them to summon Boo more times? I didn't just buy a few. I bought over 100 of them by partial resting over and over again to refresh the merchant's inventory. And now, from my vantage point atop this tower of crates, I can summon Boo inside the arena, but outside of combat. I can then put Boo into sneak mode and approach the blinded Myrkul. Since he's blinded, his vision cone isn't blocking my path, and once I'm close enough, I can click to attack Myrkul, and Boo will enter combat and run over and land a single bite attack on Myrkul. Then, Minsk can refresh his Summon Boo ability by drinking a potion of Angelic Reprieve and summon another Boo to launch another attack. I have an army of over 100 Boos to toss at this monster in the first round of combat. Now you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that's so many, that's excessive, it's too many, but I promise that's not the case. I forgot to take into account Myrkul's physical resistance to damage. So he resists physical damage, which cuts it in half, but then it reduces it by another flat 2, which is a serious problem. So Boo barely does any damage on hit, and the thunder damage from Karlach's sword can get completely negated if I only roll a 1 or a 2 for the damage on that. So I had forgotten about this magical plate ability that reduces damage by 2 when I came up with the strategy, and because of that, I'm not going to be able to finish him off in just one round. Since my damage isn't going to be enough for the one-shot, I decided to build a staircase of crates so that Boo could kill the Mind Flayer first. I had Gale cast slow on both Merkle and the Mind Flayer to reduce their armor class by 2, and while it might say 75% accuracy, my little Boo landed every single attack until this squiddy was dead. Next, I turned my attention to the Apostle of Merkle and attacked with every last Boo in my army. Did this take an insanely long time? Yes it did. Do you have to sit through the whole thing? No, of course not, absolutely not. All you really need to know is how much health this boner ended up with by the time I ran out of potions of angelic reprieve, and that number is 92 health. I need to deal 92 more damage before any necromites can approach Merkle to sacrifice themselves and provide a massive heal, because if that happens, I'm probably going to lose the save file. There's no way my damage can hope to outpace 40 healing per turn. To ensure that I'm doing as much damage as possible, I had Minsk boost his strength to 27 with an elixir of Cloud Giant strength, and I also destroyed the little pods that were going to spawn more necromites that were near Merkle, because I just want those to be, I want the necromites as far away as possible. And then I tossed Boo into combat with Merkle himself. All right, so I'm going to have Gale throw a potion of speed at Aelin so that she can do a little bit important. That's funny. So she can do a little bit more damage to Merkle, hopefully. Give her a little heal with Shadowheart as well. Yeah, here come these necromites. They are trying to make their way over because they can sacrifice themselves to heal Merkle. All right, Aelin, let's see what you got. Yeah, that honestly checks out. She's okay. I don't think I want to use a portent die yet to land. I do have the 20 so I can get a critical hit, but I'm just gonna wait a little bit just in case. I don't know what I need. Man, she is just not landing anything. What is this? Okay, so I need to stop these necromites from approaching, so I'm going to have Gale use slow on the necromites so that their movement speed is cut way down, and obviously going to throw it back onto Merkle as well because I want his armor class to be lower so that me and honestly so Dame Aelin can maybe have a chance to hit anything at all. So now, okay, it landed, so they should barely be able to move. All right, Minsk, let's see what you got. We're going to use Enraged Throw first. That's the throw that does the most damage for me. And we did 9. We did 9 damage with it. Gaze of the Dead. I can use a 12 for that. That's fine. That's not very much damage for the highest damage attack that I have in my arsenal. But I'm hasted by Karlach right now. So I do get to attack 3 times. Wow, that is just not enough damage. That is so bad. I wish I had bought more of those potions of angelic reprieve. I wouldn't have to be risking this right now. But we get to throw 3 times, and I think I need to take out the skeletal involucres. I don't know how to say that. We need to take out the skeleton pods, because if anything gets up to Merkle, I'm totally screwed. There's no way I can outdamage. They heal for like 40, so there's no way I can outdamage that by just chucking a hamster at his face. Oh god. Okay, so he's got the attack. That's not very much damage, and we saved on the concentration. That's good. Wait, where did he come? Where did this guy come from? He was hiding under the platform. How did I not see him? Come on, don't sacrifice yourself. Don't. Okay, he didn't do it. He did. Maybe, dude, why didn't he do it? I feel like he honestly should have been able to sacrifice himself there. Come on, Aelin, you really gotta land some. Okay, whatever. I think I give her the portent here, and it's 11. That's it. 11 damage, and two of it was from Karlach's Shrieking Sword, and she's miss, and this is, man. This is not... I feel concerned, to be honest. So I definitely have to take out this pod right here. It's too close, and they are weak to bludgeoning damage, as are the necromites, so hopefully this is a one-shot on him. Okay, honestly, it's sheer dumb luck, I think, that guy wasn't able to sacrifice himself to Merkle. I did not see him. That was like a huge misplay. Did not see him hiding under the platform there, but... we're taking it, obviously. Oh, I'm immune to Frightened. I didn't need to use that portent 12 because I leveled up in Barbarian. I'm immune to Frightened when I'm Frenzied. Oh, I'm making mistakes everywhere. If I lose this fight because I'm one Dame Aelin attack away from from winning. I'm gonna be so mad about that Portent 12. Yeah, these guys can't move at all. Like they can barely move with the slow, so they shouldn't be able to get over to him in time, I don't think. Aelin, you gotta land some. Oh no, she's hate. That was her. She ran out of turns for Potion of Speed, so she's lethargic this turn. No, oh my gosh, this is really stressful. Okay, they're popping out. That one's gonna be a problem. That one seemed too close. The one, oh. All right, let's just do as much damage as we can. He's so close. It's so close to being over, but I don't think, unless I get like super lucky critical strikes right now, there's no way I'm killing him this turn. And that Necromite over there is very concerning to me. I'm not feeling good. Like if it gets over there and heals him for 40, it's over. I'm not dealing 40 damage per turn. There's no way. But I got the 99% chance to hit, and we're landing all of them, so at least I'm not rolling double critical misses on these throne attacks. But I gotta do something about. I don't know what to do about him though, because yeah, I don't. Maybe I can use command on him and just command. No, you can't use command on undead. I hate undead. Undead in this game are the worst. You can't use anything on. I mean, I could use turn undead, but that does damage because my cleric is leveled up, and so that would not be hamster damage. I'm gonna have to try bestow curse. The Necromite has low wisdom, so I'm gonna have to try. Yeah, it's the only one that is here. I'm gonna have to try bestow curse dread. Okay, I missed. Nope, that's not good. That's so not good. I'm gonna drink a potion of speed, and I'm gonna try again. I have to stop this thing. I can't let it take its turn, so I'm gonna use bestow curse dread again, so that hopefully it will skip its turn next time. Okay, we got it. I think it still needs to fail the saving throw on its turn, which is concerning, but that's where we're at. This guy, I don't think he can do it. Okay. This is really stressful. All right, Aelin, just take away the suspense and land the attack. No, of course you don't. Just hit him. No, I hate you. I hate you so much. Come on, why are you doing this to me? And you hit him with a 1 damage moonbeam. Are you kidding me? All right, moment of truth. Here we go. Okay. Oh, it skipped. Okay, it failed the saving throw, so it lost its turn. This guy was too far away. There's no way he gets to sacrifice himself right here, and I get to attack 3 times plus an enraged throw on Minsk's turn, so I should definitely be able to do 7 damage with 4 attacks. Like that's definitely. I think we have it. I think we have it right now, and yeah, I think we got it. Okay, this is wow. I really didn't think this fight was gonna come to be this close. But yeah, that magical plate damage reduction is huge. Okay, here's the moment of truth. There's no way we fail. It's 7 health, and we have 4 attacks right now, all of which could do 7. I only need to land 2. Okay, there we go. Yes. Oh man, that was way more stressful than I was expecting. I really thought I was gonna just be able to do it with Boo with the potions, but here we are. With Merkel finally dead, all that's left is to hop into the astral plane, save the Emperor from a couple of Githyanki monks, which is really no trouble at all, and then shove a massive amount of tadpoles into Shadowheart's brain now that she is a partial illithid. Act 3, prepare to get dominated by a hamster because I'm coming for ya.